Yep. What it do, y'all. Hello. This is the original queen of radio. I am in the building and I am being accompanied by a couple of the queen bees that's nearby. So want to give a big old shout out to the team. We're going to be making some special announcements on our next video. So you guys got to stay tuned. As we are moving forward. As I get started this evening, first I got to say welcome, everybody. I got to say, if you are new to either one of the channels, yes, we have two up and going very strong, which is the Queen of Radio, as well as the Queen Bees. And if you are a returning visitor, we just can only say welcome and that we hope that you can come again. Now, as far as the music that was played, that is what the sound of the Blue Notes is going to be throwing down when we come to a city near you. So you guys gonna have to be looking out for, and that will, the Sapphire Blue Notes is my personal band, and it is, we have an excellent horn section that's just they just gonna mop the flow with it. You know, you got to put them extra sprinkles on the music sometimes, but not to take away from the bass player, because you know them bass players and drummers, they kind of arrogant. But anyway, we love them just the same. Now, my only disclaimer for this evening: I make no claims to the original contents of the video, of the replay of the video that I'm going to be replaying tonight. So please be advised that it's basically going to be used for educational purposes only, and I do not have any intentions on making any profit off of the replayed video that I'm going to do. Now, what I also going to do is put a link, if for anybody that wants to see this individual, the man who I'm going to be talking about this evening. To be quite honest with you, I really don't know his name, but I just saw the name in the I didn't really see a name. I just know that it was affiliated with another show. But anyway, please click like, subscribe to both channels, and if you need to do a donation, please make it out to the Queen Bees. I would prefer to go there than anything at the $ Queen Bee 1000. And or if you just want to make a donation to my program, which is the Queen of Radio, you can also do so as well at the $ Queen OR 54 would be for that. Please remember to hit the notification bell to make sure that you are catching all of the live videos. And please understand that we also take emails at queenbeesld1000@gmail.com. Or you can go to ATOR class 101@gmail.com. Again, I will be playing a video by a former white supremacist that seems to be looking for answers, or maybe, or is he looking for answers, or is he just asking the Black nation for forgiveness? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play a little bit. The entire video is about 17 to 19 minutes in time. I will be, I have taken the liberty of trying to reach out to this gentleman, and hopefully, because I don't know about you guys, but I got a lot of questions. You know, I don't know how to feel. I mean, how is the Black nation supposed to feel? How is Black nation supposed to feel? And here's my, this is my first interpretation. I don't, you know, people want to say, well, you're racist. I'm not really, I don't consider myself to be a racist or prejudiced. Let me put it to you this way. I don't like people who don't like me. And I don't care what color they are. If you don't like me, then why would I have a reason to like you? But what we're going to do with this video, I'm going to put the link, I'm going to put this gentleman's link in my description after I get off of the live broadcast. For anyone who wants to replay of that video where you saw this white supremacist speak to a group of people. He was doing I guess you could say a stand up to the room or whatever. He was at a major location and for some strange reason, I was shocked by it, but just a little bit, but not too shocked because, you know, they still have racism out there. So if anybody is interested in coming in on the live, please, I will gladly, wait a minute, let me put the link, because sometimes I forget to put things up here, but anybody that's interested in being a his link, and you're more than welcome to come into the chat room. You're welcome to come into the chat room to chop it up that way, or you're more than welcome to come on the platform. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and start to play this video. I'm going to play this video. I got my audio. I don't know why people feel like they need to call me while I'm doing a show, but I'll have to talk to those people later. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to play this video, and we're going to chop it up as a discussion. I'm not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it play for a little bit, and then I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to replay it. But like I said, if anybody is interested in seeing the face of this white supremacist, no, let me correct myself, the former white supremacist, if anybody's interested in seeing his face, then I will have it in the description box after we get done. Okay. All right. Let me pull this video thing up, and I'm going to let him talk and let him speak. According to the name of his video, once you guys see what I'm looking at, the title of it is called White Supremacy, Same Dog, Same Trick, Time to Change the Training. Oh, here his name is. Okay, they just put his name up. His name is Russell Ellis. Russell Ellis. So I'm going to go ahead and play this by Mr. Ellis. And you guys can come in as we chop it up and give it a break, okay? Here we go.
America witnessed a rise in white nationalism, in hate crimes, and in divisive conspiracy theories. But a lot of people thought that was a new phenomenon, that it was somehow reactionary behavior to Donald Trump's rhetoric and ideology. The fact is that isn't true. The fact is it's quite the opposite. You see, Donald Trump was put into office by white nationalism, by divisive conspiracy theories, and by a long history of white supremacy in this country. Conspiracies of war against white America, conspiracies of the government attacking white Christian America. These conspiracies have existed in white communities across America for decades. Donald Trump simply provided legitimacy to these conspiracies by using key and designated language in his campaign that caused white America to circle in a sharp frenzy and cast their votes. Now, how do I know this? How can I say this so confidently? Because I come from a white little town in North Carolina where I learned white supremacy. Racism is so casual where I'm from.
Okay. Y'all know I had to stop. I had to stop on that part. Okay. He mentioned one thing. I don't know if it went over y'all's head, but he mentioned that the white supremacists was team with Donald Trump. Okay. And he also mentioned, and you guys can play it back at your own discrepancy, but he also mentioned that they were talking and what? Now, what have I been teaching our black people? What have I been teaching y'all? I have been teaching y'all about the codes. And matter of fact, we're going to talk about some more I'm going to give y'all some more codes on the next video series. But for now, he has blatantly confessed in his own way that white supremacy with this whole thing, they have been talking in codes. And then now he's coming into the part of his video where he discusses where he talks about how he came from a small town where it wasn't no big thing about being a racist. So I'm gonna let him finish out his thought.
It's culture, and that culture breeds the next generation of white supremacists, and that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about that cycle of white supremacy that has yet to be broken. I want to talk about the silent complicity of white America whenever white supremacy is challenged. I want to talk about the ignorance of white America as it pertains to identifying and stopping white supremacy. Because you see, white supremacy is the single most dangerous thing in America to anybody who doesn't look like me. But every time white supremacy rears its ugly head, we treat it like it's a new dog doing new tricks. No, it's the same dog, same tricks.
Wow. Did y'all hear that? I told you I got to stop on not every part, but when he said that, if you are not of his race, then you are basically living in danger, which, that's nothing surprising. But my thing is, I'm interested in knowing a little bit more. I'm going to have to find this Russell Ellis. I'm going to have to find him and have him to come on a live video because I got a lot of questions. But I'm going to let him continue.
And I'm here to tell you that if we don't change how we treat the dog, it's going to keep doing the same trick. It's going to keep biting. I was raised in the mountains of western North Carolina in a white little neck of the woods, often referred to as a holler. I grew up with the Confederate flag on my front yard, and my neighbor had one in his, and this neighbor in his, and the guy down the road, everywhere. That flag was a sign of our heritage. At least that's what I was told. What heritage might you ask? A heritage of simple, hardworking patriots who love their country and their neighbor, as long as your neighbor looks like you. Because I'm here to tell you, I didn't have any black neighbors. In fact, you had to go about 20, 30 minutes down the road before you got to the black neighborhood, or where I'm from, they refer to as the bad part of town. You see, racism, where I'm from, is so casual, it's hidden in plain sight. I know it existed. The N-word was daily vocabulary. I didn't even know that was a bad word. Growing up, I learned that people who sag their pants are thugs. Growing up, I learned if you live in government-assisted housing, it's because you're too lazy to get a job, work hard like us. Growing up, I learned that these people get food stamps and sell drugs. You see, one day my dad was going on a rant about just that when a guy knocked at my door. So I went and let him in.
Wait. Hold the hell on. Did he just call, he said that this was coming from the way he was raised. I didn't. Okay, first of all, he's going to have to justify calling black people dogs. I don't know if y'all heard it, but I think maybe I could be wrong. Now, if I'm wrong, then please feel free to correct me. But he compared what he was raised to believe is that black people of color was raised to be looked upon as a dog. Something, and he says the same, the same tricks, and that now I find that to be appalled. I'm appalled by that. I'm appalled by the statement, but I can't really be mad at this man because this is his first step as to opening up about how his race of the white race is supposed to feel about the black race. So I mean, I can't. I don't know. Maybe y'all can shed some light on it. Okay, I'll let him continue.
Man, the guy went and sat with my dad, handed my dad some money. My dad weighed out marijuana and gave it back to him, a drug deal. And then my dad took the money from that drug deal and he put it in his wallet, right next to some red, yellow, blue, green food coupons. You may have heard of them. They're called food stamps. Did my dad see the hypocrisy of us having food stamps and selling drugs while he's telling me about these people getting food stamps and selling drugs? No. Because my dad would explain it like this: son, I work hard and I pay taxes, so I deserve these food stamps. And I don't make enough money and I want to provide for you children, so I got to sell these drugs to make ends meet. You see the hypocrisy of that. The cognitive dissonance is cringeworthy. How could my dad, an otherwise intelligent man, be so ignorant? Easy. It's a toxic cycle of white supremacy and white ideology that has survived the test of time. You see, during slavery, only rich white people could afford to enslave other people. But to prevent the poor white people from empathizing with the plight of enslaved black people, what the rich white people did was this. They told the poor white people, hey, if you work hard, you can be like us. And what they did was they gave them management positions on the plantation, called them overseers. That way they were more important than the enslaved black people. The idea was simple. You might be poor, but hey, at least you ain't black. That ideology, that mindset has survived the test of time. Fast forward to my dad sitting in the living room ranting about these people with food stamps and drugs while selling drugs and using food stamps. I can hear it. We might be poor, but at least we ain't black.
Wait a minute, wait. Hold the hell on. Hold the hell on. Did I just hear him say that his father was a drug dealer and he had food stamps, and he says, oh, and that he was justifying being a drug dealer, but he commented and said, well, as long as you're not black. Like, wow, dude, really? Oh, I really got to invite this man onto my platform. Hold the hell on. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Russell Ellis. Go ahead. But I'm still looking for you, bro.
This is a cycle. And understanding that cycle, understanding that context, understanding this history is the key to dismantling white supremacy. Breaking that cycle is the key to defeating racism. Because I want you to understand, and this is very important, that although white America's busy spinning conspiracies of white America being targeted, there's no tangible, quantifiable evidence to justify their case. But ironically, the same people that believe that will refute systemic oppression against the black community when there's tangible, quantifiable evidence to prove it.
Out of here, because I don't need their commercials. Let's see. Hold on. It's Yeah, I had to get the commercials out of there.
The United States Department of Justice statistics show a black man is 3 times more likely to be killed by the police than a white man. The United States Sentencing Commission has proven that a black offender will receive a 19% longer sentence on average than a white offender, same crime, same criminal background. A black mother is 4 times more likely to die during childbirth than a white mother. 22% of black Americans live in poverty, only 9% of white Americans live in poverty. If you're a black American in this country, you're 2.5 times more likely to live in an environmental justice neighborhood. That means you're next to a power plant, next to a waste dump, next to a structure that poses significant health risk, regardless of your income. These are irrefutable facts, tangible evidence that shows black America is disproportionately disadvantaged in this country, yet the vast majority of white America calls that government lies. Refuse, but yet somehow we're the ones being targeted. Why? It's easy. Because we have been told by white supremacy that we are the center of the world. If you don't think like me, that's a you problem. If you don't dress like me, that's a you problem. If you don't act like me, if you don't believe like me, if you don't do your hair like me, that's a you problem. Most importantly, if your experience is not like mine, well, that's a you problem. It could not possibly be the system that was built by us, for us. I remember when my son was 5 years old, he wanted to play baseball. So I signed him up for the local recreational league team. First things first, we got to go buy a baseball glove, So I could take him out. At the very first store, I ran into a problem I didn't foresee coming. I told my son, I said, pick out whatever glove you want, son. I want you to be happy with your equipment. So he picked out a glove. But then it turns out I couldn't buy that one for him because he's left-handed. And then he picked out another glove, and continually couldn't buy them. He had to settle for his fourth choice because, well, they didn't have any for left-handed players. As a right-handed person, I had never really thought of this. As a right-handed person, I never came across this kind of inconvenience. Now, my son picking out baseball gloves is a far cry from the life and death reality of not being white in America, but it's important to point out that in this America that was made with white supremacy woven in every fabric of every system, these standards of whiteness have been passed down. It's easy for us as white Americans to not see the pain, the inconvenience, discomfort, and the danger of our non-white fellow Americans that live in the very same country. I remember when I was 10 years old, I asked my dad, I said, Dad, what does the South will rise again mean? It was on the flag in the front yard. And it was on people's T-shirts and bumper stickers. And everywhere I went, South will rise again. Everybody knew something I didn't know, so I wanted to know what was going on. My dad looked at me and said, son, one day it's going to be illegal to be white in this country. It's going to be illegal to be Christian in this country. It's going to be illegal to fight for our freedoms like our forefathers did. And my dad believed.
Okay. I got to comment about that. He just stated in reference to it's going to get to a point where so now this is one thing that I'm learning about white people. They are fearing us, but in my line of thinking, they are fearing us because this is something really, really deep seated. This is so deep seated that I believe it's a guilt complex. It's a guilt complex because they know what they have done to our people. They know what they have done. I mean, that's a given. You're not gonna you can't get around it. You can't get away from it. But it's just like all of the black activists, the black leaders that we have had. For some strange reason, they are on defense. They are on the fence and they are defense. They on that defense because it's as if they are waiting to have an excuse. And maybe, like I said again, y'all, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, you can correct me. I don't have a problem with somebody. If I'm wrong about something, I'm free to admit if I'm wrong. But that just shows me that they just itching. Maybe it's the way that Mr. Russell has stated it, but from the way I had interpreted, this man is, for his race as a whole, it's almost like they're itching to pull the trigger, to have a reason to have to defend their race. Um, but see, they don't know what it means. We have what suffered 4,000 years on defending our race, so I'm kind of puzzled. I'm a little bit puzzled about that statement. And so if I ever get a chance to interview this man, to come on to the Queen of Radio platform, I got to ask these questions. I really do. So go ahead, Mr. Russell.
Believe that. When he told me that when I was 10 years old, I believed it. So you see, when you juxtapose that ideology with the ramblings of Trump cultists and QAnon conspiracists, you start to see this is not a new phenomenon. These ideas, these conspiracies, these standards of whiteness, they've been around for a long time. My dad believed it, and his dad before him. And he told me when I was 10, 30 years ago. It is important that we understand these cycles and what these toxic ideologies are so that we can fight them, so that we can end them. You understand? The way we talk as white Americans, that's the standard. Dialects like African American vernacular English is considered low class and uneducated. The way we wear our hair, that's the standard. I've never had to change my hairstyle so I'm going to get a job. My hair's never been banned by an employer's manual. Even the way my parents named me is the standard. I don't have to worry about my name on a resume being the reason that my resume is overlooked. All of this is a reality in this country, made possible by my white ancestors creating a white system that benefits me. Now, it is worth noting that we've made great progress in the area of civil rights thanks to countless black liberation movements, countless social liberation movements. But even now in 2022, racism and white supremacy still very exist. I aim to defeat it before I die. The way I do that, I spent the majority of the last 2 decades trying to understand white supremacy, but more important, trying to understand how it continues to thrive in my community. I came to 3 conclusions that I think are very important. This is the reason that white supremacy stays alive in our country. Number 1, it goes unchecked. Every white person that's listening to this in this room or in this country has heard a joke behind closed doors, or has heard these baseless conspiracy theories that I'm talking about being spread, or has heard about how reverse racism is attacking white America. And as a white person, if you do not call that out, if your family, friends, coworkers are doing these things and you say nothing, you are an accessory to murder.
Woo! Wow. That's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy. If you guys missed it, he stated that the first problem of white America is the silence of violence, as if you see that elephant in the room, but nobody is going to ask a question as to how that elephant got in there, or who put the elephant there. So that's a very powerful first thing to say. So go ahead.
Your silence allows these hateful ideologies, conspiracies, and dangerous rhetoric to continue to fester and be passed down to the next generation of white supremacists. Your silence is quite literally violence. Number 2, lack of education. 99% of white America look at dead in the face right now and say, I'm not a racist. 98% of them couldn't define what racism is.
Woo.
Our entire American education system is whitewashed. Even our history, the romantic fiction novels in which all the heroes are white. It is our civil responsibility, our duty, to combine our collective voices and demand that our education curriculum be revised, revamped, that our history books tell the truth about the rights and wrongs of yesteryear, so that we can have less wrongs and more rights in the years to come. And number three, I saved this for last because it's the most important in my book, and inclusion. If we aim to dismantle white supremacy, then white Americans must stop treating equity and inclusion as a personal attack on us. There's been tons of legislation that's been passed to demand legal equality. 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment, Voting Rights Act of 1865, Voting Rights Act 1965, Brown versus Board of Education 1954, Civil Rights Act 1964. We can make a very long list of legislation. But yet, without equity and inclusion, the problem still exists today. Because you cannot legislate morality. It is incumbent upon us to understand these systems and these standards of whiteness that I've referred to today and how they continue to thrive and survive. We must stop the cycle. In this proverbial right-handed world where everybody who's not white is proverbially left-handed, we must understand that the justice system, the policing system, the education system, medical system, the financial system, the banking system, the prison system, all these systems are being used against our fellow citizens to oppress and marginalize them. We must have radical ground-up change on every system in America, period. White people admitting that white supremacy exists is not an attack on us. Admitting that our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents created this system to benefit us is not an attack on us. Stop treating it like that. Admit there's a problem and become part of the solution. We must embrace our fellow human beings. The statistics I provided today, these numbers validate the struggle, the reality of not being white in America. Nobody's asking white people to have less or be less. All that's being asked is that our fellow Americans have and be just as much. Now, I could talk for hours on this, but I was only given 15 minutes. So I want to conclude with this. Number one, I implore everybody who heard me say this to look deeper into each one of these topics. But if you're a white person listening to me, then I implore you to do this. Number one, speak up. Without us as white Americans speaking up within our communities and saying no more of the jokes, no more of the let's make fun of other people, no more of these toxic conspiracies. No, let's speak up. My silence will not be compliance in your violence. Until that happens, we can't end white supremacy. Number two, educate yourself. Are you a racist? That's not a yes or no question. Racism is a spectrum. How much do you know about it? Educate yourself. There's so many books, so many great black educators out there that have spoken on this topic. Educate yourself. Dig deeper. Get uncomfortable. And most importantly, educate your children. We got to raise the change we want to see in the world. And then number three, get involved. We as white people have a privilege in this country to walk into a city council, walk into a school board meeting, and our voice has power. Use your privilege for power. Demand equity and inclusion in your local schools. Demand equity and inclusion in your local city council meetings. Demand inclusion in your budget for your city. We got standardized testing in schools. We don't have standardized resources. Demand it. This is how we help end white supremacy. My name is Russell Ellis, and I was a racist. I'm a reformed racist and white supremacist. If I can do it, you can too. My TED Talk.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm pretty sure, we're going to have three types of people that's going to look at this video, and like I said, I will put the video in the description for you guys to replay it if you want to, because I did kind of interrupt throughout the video to talk and make my points with it. Because I have to give my commentary. First and foremost, I have to agree. First of all, I have to agree that white people do need to speak up in reference to it. And there is a group of people where I live. I can't say where I live, but there's a group of white people that is very adamant about change. And it seems to me that the change is coming from the older generation. What I say by the older generation, I am running into people and meeting people that is, when I say older generation, I'm talking about the generation past my age group. I'm saying people in their 60s and 70s and possibly 80s is saying, as white people, and I have been a part of some of these meetings, they are very disgruntled, to say the least. As I sat there being the only black person in the room, and you be like, well, what do you say? Because, I'm surrounded by all of these white people. I don't know what it is they are expecting of me. And I have been in those types of situations a lot, many, many, many times before. But we were at a table, and from what I have gathered, the older white people, when I say older white people, I'm talking about, like I said, 60s and up, they are so embarrassed. They have talked about how embarrassing they were, because they said that they have lived through the crisis of when, what they call segregated, when you couldn't drink water from a certain fountain. Or they said that they remember the times when they could not get on a bus without the white people making them to be superior and putting black people at the back of the bus. So I mean, these older, I like to say older, much older individuals, they were very candid. They said that they have tried to do their best to teach their children and their grandchildren that we should be a nation of people as under one umbrella. Um, one nation under God, one nation under, I don't know, whatever you want to consider it to be. And as I sat there and I'm watching, and I'm not really, they looked at me. I can't say that they were looking at me because I was, black or anything. I mean, that would stand out. I look like a raisin in a field of marshmallows. But anyway, they looked at me, and, they was like, well, what is your input? And I'm like, well, this is the type of person that I am. And I've said this across the board. There is a foundation. Okay. You know how I've taught in my classes for all of my wonderful, wonderful students. I've taught in class that there is always, before you can begin anything, there is what I consider to be a foundation. And, my whole thing is this: where it starts is where you got to start with making the change. I know that went over somebody's head. The foundation is what needs to be changed. Not to be so blunt about it, but I told that group of white people that, I can appreciate their concerns or their gestures. But the thing is, this type of situation has to start at the beginning and not at the end. And they have already lived their lives. They have lived their lives to the point of, okay, well, you're at the end of that, that rainbow. So, it's more so of teaching the children about their own history. And just like Mr. Russell had stated in his speech, he said that his race was never taught about the black race. His race was never taught. But ironically, our race was taught about them. And they are, and I hate to be blunt about it, but they are anticipating, they just itching. They feel like it's a major guilt complex that I believe that the white race is holding. It's almost like, okay, I dare you. I dare you. I'm not going to say anything, but I dare you. So, my whole thing is this. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of like half and half right now. I don't. I believe this man, Mr. Russell Ellis, was saying what he felt on his heart. I give him credit for that. But it doesn't really necessarily just needs to start with the white race. You got to go to the bottom. You got to go to the foundation in order for the foundation is broken. Okay, the foundation is broken. It's shattered. It's all to pieces, and it's not starting at the white race. And the reason why I say racism did not start at the white race is, well, yeah, it did, but in an indirect sense, and it became stronger, in my opinion. It became stronger when the invention of government came into play. Government has a structure, okay? Government has a structure, and y'all know from the last, 30 some classes, the last 32 videos that I have done, and you guys have told me how you have enjoyed it, and I thank you. Thank you so much for that. The thing is, government has, I believe government is the problem, the problem of the whole problem, period. They started, I believe, and like I say, I'm not a perfect person, and I'm not trying to plead me being perfect, but I truly believe wholeheartedly from the education that I was given as a child, I think that racism pretty much started with government. And the reason why it intensified, now I'm not saying that government wasn't in place prior. Racism wasn't there prior. It was because you got slavery, you got slavery. But as time progressed, that white supremacist turned into a massive form of government. And still today, government is still, and I got to share this story with you real quick before I'm not going to get off the topic, but I ran into a very, very racist, prejudiced judge. Okay. Um, and once, now see, you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover. And he heard my name. He heard my name, and for some strange reason, they seem to think that my name is white. I'll just say some names you can look, you assume that person, oh, that person got to be white, because people assume my name with the lady came from Dynasty, and y'all remember Big House on the Valley, Wonder Woman and all that. Well, that was Linda Carter. But anyway, this judge had assumed that I was white. So as he was getting ready to go with the real, what I call, what they call it, kangaroo court, because being in the courts is kangaroo. It's nothing legitimate about it, and it's run by the white people for the white people, and this is the truth of the whole matter. He was getting ready to rule in my favor until I came on the video screen. When I came on the video screen and he said, "Oh my," if I'm pretty sure if he could have said, "Oh, she's black," his whole aura changed. Okay, his whole aura, when he found out that I was black, oh my goodness, it was like this man could have almost fainted. Then he all of a sudden changed up the rules and the regulations and said, "Oh no, 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 no. I just know you did not bring this black woman into this." That was his attitude. That's not what he said. But we as black people know when we're being against. We as black people know when, you're a racist, but I'm not going to really show you. I'm not going to really tell you that I'm a racist, but you're black. So, and I was just, I really wasn't shocked. I really was not shocked because, you know, he calls himself going by the law. And y'all know I'm gonna give a class on, you know, the word law is also a code. But I'm gonna say that for another video. I'll say that for an up and coming video. Well, you know, I'm always teaching y'all about the codes of government. But what I'm saying is government has really been the foundation of racism. You know, I think they were the foundation because they were so entwined. Government, y'all all know that taken from the pictures, government was so white. And if you notice from the pictures from when they were sitting around their so-called table discussing what they were going to do with black people, they were very adamant about how they were going to communicate with their slaves. They were very adamant. They said, okay, well, we can't let these niggers, y'all know the word, we can't let these niggers, and that was a word that they created. We didn't create that word. It came from them, originally came from them. And they was like, we can't let these people know what we're talking about them. So what we got to do, we got to create a system. So as we created the system, we got to put codes within the system. Because if we put codes in the system, then black people will never know what the hell we're talking about. That's the whole point. And another thing they made true, according to their own documentation, is that black people are not allowed or supposed to learn how to read. They were very adamant about not wanting us to study, not for us to get an education, not for us to learn about their codes. You see, when government came into play, and I'm going to probably mention this again on one of my up and coming videos, you know, we talked about this from a past video about in God we trust. Okay, in God we trust on a dollar bill has absolutely nothing to do with the spiritual realm of the higher, the most high. It has absolutely nothing to do with that God. See, that God is of God of all creatures, of all creation, beginning to end. But in God we trust on a dollar bill, and I'm gonna give y'all the code for God. God, do you know? And if anybody who wants to write down what the code is, the code GOD in the code for government, that means GOD means govern over documents. Govern over documents. That is the code that they have implanted on the dollar bill. So they had already had pre things that they were working on in order to control the population of black people. They said, well, you know what? We're gonna put together this organization and we're gonna call it government. We're gonna call it government, and we're gonna say that this is an organization that was run by whites, for the whites, and by the whites. So we're going to put on this documentation that's going to be signed by these selective witnesses that we are superior. Now, they did what we call the 7-point sale. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what the 7-point sale is, because this is also the remedy in advertisement and sales and marketing. This is something that I learned when I took my business degree in education with business management and marketing. There is a thing called the 7 points of sale. The 7 points of sale, you want to get something done quicker and easier, you give it the 7-point scale, because 7 means in the realms of God, God says that 7 means completion. So, but in the other aspect of what 7 means for you to go tell 7 people and have that the people that you told tell them 7 people to tell other 7 people, for it to get around that we as the white nation is superior. This is how this whole thing got started. It got started by word of mouth after they had formulated their so-called government, and they're like, oh, okay, well, now that they understand that, we as government, but now, wait a minute, they did not think, that they were going to need black people in order for them to survive. Let me say that again. They did not think. You see, now they started charging us for the privilege of being black. So then they came up with all of these fancy words, and then they came up with more codes and more codes on top of that. And then here comes some more codes until they just coded themselves all completely out. So after all of these coding, oh, we got to make that code to cover up that code, and the whole pyramid. Y'all know I talked about the pyramid. And if you don't know about what I talked about the pyramid, then I suggest you go back into my archives and you listen about the pyramid and the 3 points of the pyramid. But they had that 7 points. So this is how they did what they call the 7 points of sale, where you have to go tell 7 people, and then to have those 7 people to tell 7 people, and then you keep going until it's so saturated. It's so saturated that now everybody knows. And I hate to be blunt about it, but this is what we as people need to do for ourselves, to do the 7 points of sale. Every time I come on my video, I tell y'all to please click like and share. I'm hoping that everybody is telling at least 7 people, because that's the number of completion. If you are out having a cup of coffee, say, hey, did you catch this show? Can I help you to educate yourselves on something that I heard? Let's have a conversation. Let's have some dialogue. See, we as a nation of people need to get back into that realm. We need to be able to sit down with the people that we care about and say, hey, so-and-so, can I get your attention on this? Can we, chop it up, whatever. So the foundation of hatred, I have to say this, hatred and being in control has all came by government. Government started these wars between the blacks and the whites, because if it hadn't have been for them writing it down and putting it in what they call governmental scriptures, how would the black, wait a minute, y'all got to think, it had to come from them, because you got to remember, back in the day, they had a law for black people not even to learn how to read. Huh? Come on, somebody. Y'all know if I was here, I say, can we get close? Okay? So the whole thing is government. Government has started this whole line of lying to their own people, lying to our people, and then we didn't even get a sorry or thank you. We didn't get anything, and now they want to raise hell about us asking for what is already owed to us. Yeah, you owe it. We shouldn't. And the way we think about things, we shouldn't have to ask them for it. They should automatically feel guilty enough to just give it to us because it's ours. From what I have personally experienced with white people, they are lying, and I hate to say it, but they're lying. They lie, they cheat, and they steal, and they destroy. I have not and I don't mean no harm when I say this, but white people just have no morals. They have nothing, they have no standards. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong? They feel like, but like they say, they are so brainwashed, like Mr. Ellis has mentioned. He mentioned that his people is so brainwashed. Because and how they got brainwashed, and he even said it himself, in an indirect way. He said the legislation. Now, where do you find legislation if you don't find it in government? Ask yourself that question. And it's just like as I was putting this video together, I was noticing, I said, yeah, it goes back to a judge that I was talking to on a phone. Once he found out that I was black, now the laws change because now he had to go to that special book to where, well, there's a black person in the court, in the courtroom, so we're gonna have to change that up. Okay, and they've gotten so comfortable. They've gotten so comfortable in doing their prejudice and bigotry and all of this. So in my answers for all of this, in order for racism to be, I'm not going to say completely stop, because I'm pretty sure you're going to have three classifications of racism. You're going to have the ones that really want to know and really want to change. Then you're going to have the ones that don't give a hoots or a handy about changing. Then you're going to have the ones, well, maybe there's something I don't really know. Let me go half and half. Let me find out a little bit more and then make a determination. So you got three groups of people. You got three groups of people, and white people they're just too comfortable for me. Maybe it's just me, but they're too comfortable in the skin that they're in. And even for the ones that say, oh, I'm not racist, and then turn around and say, well, you can't drink from the same water fountain. That's just like I sat up here and I witnessed, they're supposed to treat everybody equally. But, I had caught this white person doing criminal activities, and then they're gonna say, oh, there's no way that white people can be put in jail because white people don't commit any crimes. Well, who in the hell believes that one? So I was like, I am appalled. You sitting up here now. See, if that shoe had been on the other foot, they would have couldn't wait to put a black person under the bars. They couldn't wait. And like I said again, this is all a part of government. Government started all of this mess, all of it. And they still going on it today, which is the reason why I'm not really surprised. I'm not really surprised, but I give him kudos. I give them kudos for making that stand, making his announcement that he really wants to change. But in order for us as a people, and I'm not just talking to my fellow black people, I'm talking to all races. The problem is government. That's the problem. See, if y'all think about it, we outnumber, and I'm talking about a nation of people. I'm not talking about one race versus another race. I'm talking about human beings. We outnumber government. Now, and what we can do with government is either one or two things. Either help them to become a better government for the ones who believe in them, because I ain't never believed in government. I treat them with a long handled spoon at every time and every given opportunity, because just like I was in front of a judge, he's like, you don't know I'm superior. No, you're not. How you going to consider yourself to be superior when you are running off of my tax dollars? You are running. How do you think you get paid? If the black nation or the black people is not paying for you to be there. See, this is the attitude, like, oh, he gonna tell me, ma'am, let me tell you this. I am the one and you are in my courtroom. Yeah, but what you failed to realize, son, that courtroom was paid by my black skin. Now where you gonna go? You see, it's not so much, I'm the type of person, I give respect if I get respect. You're not going to sit up here and pacify me. First of all, the rules changed when I came into the room. Okay? When I came into the room, your so-called laws all of a sudden changed. Your laws had said, oh, no, 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 no. I just know it's not a black woman in this room. She carrying a white person's name. And I'm kind of saying to myself, what do you consider to be a white person's name? Okay. And how, you should never judge a book by its cover. So, I'm not mesmerized, but yes, I truly agree that if there is going to be peace within the earth, it's time to get rid of bad government. I'm not saying get rid of them as a whole. I'm saying get rid of the bad apples that's in the barrel and start afresh. If you're going to believe in government, because I'm not the one for it. I ain't never been for government. I ain't never supported none of them. But because I'm an SG. SGs, for the ones who know, that is self-governed. I'm a self-governed. I only answer to the Most High. I don't answer to government. Government did not create me. Government did not bring me here to be amongst my people, to be a teacher or an educator. So, I feel like I'm the type of person, look, you do what you do on your side of the fence, and I'm going to do what I need to do on my side of the fence. And, as long as I'm not bothering you, then you shouldn't be bothering me. Whatever your hangups are, keep that over there. I don't need your whatever, because I have, from my personal experiences, white people are very good about handing you a rock, having a rock behind one hand and an olive branch in the first hand. And so my thing is this. I'm still, yeah, y'all did a couple of nice speeches. I grant y'all that. They did a couple of nice speeches, and yes, and I'm not saying that Mr. Russell Ellis is not genuine in his thought or his teachings. I'm not saying that, because y'all can also remember there was another white lady named Jane Elliott that had also preached about about the melanation and black people on behalf, and they didn't care too much for her either. They felt like she was out of pocket. But the thing of the matter is, they can say that they are with the whole matter, but in retrospect, they're not. And if you think as a people, I'm saying as the human race, I don't care about what color you are. I'm talking about the human race. We as the human race can really, if we came together collectively, we can basically shut government down. They can be shut down when every race steps up and says, we're not taking the bullshit no more. Okay? We're not taking, you have been controlling us by saying that, these people, these sets of people is bad. Y'all have taken these people as your slave according to your documentation under your codes, from one code to another code. Oh, well, you are in violation of a statute or in a code and an ordinance, and it's because of the judge. Uh-huh. Now, is that not part of government? If that's not part of government, I don't know what is. So where the cleanup needs to start is with government. If for the ones who believe in government, if that's what and I'm not telling you not to go one way versus another, because what may work for me may not work for you. But I'm going to say, for me and my household, We ain't never believed in government. We ain't never supported them. We don't care. Y'all can put Daffy Duck in the office as far as we're concerned, because it's not going to affect my life one way or the other. I feel, but I do feel this. I do feel that we are a nation of black people that need to have a leader. Not just a leader, but we need to have a leader of both a husband and wife, or king and queen, that can go and work side by side with the people of government. I've always felt that for the non-governmental people, which is also called the SGs, I feel like we need to have somebody that can say, "Hey, let's challenge them and their so-called authority." Because if you think about it, as they were taking our people as slaves, they were also taking our money and using that against us. And they're like, "Oh, we have done a lot of dirt to the black race." Yes, you have. Yes, you have. But you know what? They fail to realize we are the children of the Most High. And when you are, I had to tell a young lady, she's in her, her 30s, coming into her 30s. I had to tell a young lady, she was like, "You're not afraid to go up against the white governors and supremes and all of these so-called." Hell no. I'm not. I put my shoes on and my clothes on one leg and one pants leg at a time. What the hell I look like being afraid of somebody who has tried to oppress me and my people? Where I don't understand that. Where is the fear? Why would I have fear? See, true people of the Most High don't walk in fear. Can I get a witness? Somebody. It's more than just being black. We were a human being before God had determined and had the determination to call and make us black. We didn't ask to be put in this skin. It was by the Most High's choice. So if it's by the Most High's choice, then how is it that you can find a way to criticize it? They made a play back in the 1980s. Your arms is too short to box with God. Your arms is very much too short. And then they also, and if y'all ever take the initiative to pay attention to government has put it in small print, small print, that government is not for people who believe in the spiritual realm. You have to believe in our God, the God of the code of the DOD, which is by going with the documents. They are the governed office over documents. That's their God. And and God, not the spiritual God, but the system God. Y'all better get back with that pyramid that I told y'all. If you are true to the Most High, then you don't have no fear. There is no fear in you. And I face these people. I'm not going to call them out their names like they call us out of our names. What point would that make? Yeah, don't get me wrong. I will get upset. I do get upset, and I cuss my own people out quicker, because they know better. But the thing is, my whole thing is this. I look at them and I can only shake my head. There is a program here where I live that is supposed to be for the homeless people. And what I have noticed with them, that white people can't do no wrong, the same way the courts are. Same way the courts are. White people can't do no wrong because, we are supreme. We are, and they were not chosen by the Most High. They have chosen themselves to be put in a predicament to be called the Most High. Come on, somebody. I know somebody know what I'm talking about. So, y'all are sitting up here with this attitude and being so super slick. And see, this is my reason for being sick of them. I've never been more sick and tired of. I'm not talking about them as a whole. I'm not talking about them as a whole, because I'm talking about the ones who are in the presence of me. That's who I'm talking about when I say that I'm sick of these selective white people. And they do so much criminal stuff, and then they feel like, oh well, I got the judge on board, I got the police on board, I got all these different levels of government on board for me to continue to do my criminal acts. You see, this is what I mean about the reason why the race is in the predicament that they are in. It's because of government. It's really, really, truly their fault. And if we as a people don't wake up and challenge them to say, hey, wait a minute, don't ever talk to me any kind of way. Because first of all, let me check you and recheck you. First of all, you're using black people's money for treating us bad. Let's put this in a perspective, Mr. Judge. Let's put this in a perspective, directors of organizations. Let's put this in a perspective. You didn't get there by yourself. You have been riding on this boat, this plane, this automobile off of the black backs of Black Nation. You have been riding, you have been getting a free ride off of Black Nation. And then you have the audacity to stand in front of me and tell me, oh, well, we got another set of rules that we have to bring out because we got a black person in the building. See, our white rules, that's in that private book. Oh yeah, y'all didn't know? They got government has a specialty book. They have a specialty book that if you go into a courtroom, that specialty book sits on the left side of their bench. You see, every time a black person comes in, oh, wait a minute. Oh, we have to go by another set of codes. Mm-hmm. And then you want to say, oh, well, we're going to still treat you the same. Really? Is that a fact? Okay. So you have to look at it. And this is what kind of ticks me off. They said, oh, well, you're living in a town where racism and prejudice is high. No, honey, you can live anywhere and prejudice and being racist is high. I can't, no other town is any different than any other town or state or city, because you're going to always have government that's going to play by that plagiarism book versus the other book that they have, when in due respect, none of this applies to any human being. It's called the color of law. You could say it's the color of code. How about that? And I say Cocoa for Cocoa Pops, it's the color of code. Because once they see who you are and what they're dealing with, oh, this is money coming into the room. Because I told you on another video, I told you in a court of law and with government has put a very high price tag on black people than they have done themselves. They have always said that, and see, what I don't understand, this is the reason why black people have been put in jail, because they have already got the paperwork. The paperwork say, hey, wait a minute, is that a slave? That's a black. Come over here. Let me draw up this paperwork for you, and you can sit in this white man's prison and their white man's jail, and then turn around, and we're gonna not only are we gonna make money off of you coming in the door, black man, but we're gonna make money while you stay under our care. Mm-hmm. And then we ain't through with you, black man. We're gonna make some more money off of you from it's called the black white stock market. Oh, don't you know? And that's being funded by the Department of Corrections. The Department of Correction is nothing but a what they call a jail bank. Huh? Thought you had one. This is the reason why I tell all of my people stay out of their courts. Stay out of their courts. Stay out of their face. Don't you ain't got to make a point of nothing. If you're gonna do something, just do it. What you gotta make an announcement for it about, oh, can we have permission to do something? As long and see, y'all heard it with Mr. Russell Ellis. He just got through describing our people as dogs. Y'all didn't hear it? Was I the only person there that heard it? He described us black people as dogs. He said it's the same trick. It's not even a same game. But you come in with the same trick and the same game. A dog. Well, at least now we know we have went from, you see, government had already started the paperwork on their paperwork. They don't classify us as dogs. They classify us as property, possession, subject to, object, property, possession, subject to. These are all slave codes. That's what we are to them. So it really depends. This is the reason why I say, and then this man, I was speaking to this cricket judge. He gonna tell me, you can't deny me. And I'm like, why can't I deny you? I told you you're not going to do a trial over a simple matter of what you call the kangaroo court law. It doesn't make any sense to be sitting up here wasting taxpayers' time over whether you can do something or not. Nobody was hurt, and you're so afraid that you're not going to get paid. But see, what you fail to realize is, me being the black educated person that I am, I can come and snatch your damn job right from under you and get the pleasure of doing it without blinking an eyelash. So as far as I'm concerned, Mr. White Judge, you need to respect me, because we as a black nation has been taking y'all's lily white asses for a ride forever. Not just for the last 400 years. We've been taking y'all we've been fitting the bill for you forever, and you got the audacity to disrespect me when I am part of a black nation that paid for your lily white ass to be sitting up on that bench. Who are you talking to? Who are you disrespecting? You see, I challenge any judge to take off that robe and face me like the human being that I am, because I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. And a copy of this video is going to be given to the so-called white oppressors. I want them to hear me and hear my voice good. I don't know who the hell y'all think y'all are, but I know who the hell you're not. You are not my God that I serve upon. And I hope that you listen. I see the trolls. I see the trolls being in the trenches. Yeah, you go back and have this discussion with your so-called other white friends. Because let me tell you something. This black woman ain't never scared. I face you anytime, any day. See, you wear the black robe of death in order to justify your position in a court that was paid for of the sweat and brow of my black people. So don't get it twisted, Mr. White Judge. Don't get it twisted. I don't know who you think you are, but see, this is my courtroom. Anytime I speak to the nation, and right now I'm speaking to the nation. And I'm hoping that one day that you're going to hear my voice because I'm speaking to you. I'm not going to exclude you out because your so-called court system is the very reason why this country is in a shambles that the way that it is. You are the one who have done the 7-point sales point. You are the one that told each one of your members, oh, go treat, go. You are the one that taught your children, your grandchildren, your children, and your generations after that, that you have some type of superior that you have given yourself because nobody elected you. See, that's the reason why you have to be elected into your own crown and your own glory, into your own courtroom, into your own kingdom. Somebody say, talk, black woman, talk. I'm through, ladies and gentlemen. I'm absolutely through. I'm very, and then, they say, oh, well, if she talks loud and, she's very boisterous, black women it's got to be something wrong with those black women. They must have some type of psychological problem because, they talk loud, but you know what? We black women talk loud and we carry a big stick. Don't ask me no questions, and I'll tell you no lie about what we will do with that stick. I'm trying to be polite, y'all. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. I'm trying to be understanding. So yes, in order for the answers is quite simple. The answer is quite simple. When y'all get through cleaning up government, if that's who you want to serve upon, start cleaning them up. Start asking a whole lot more questions of what's your morals for being there? Why are you here? You need to do, the people need to do what they call an interview. I'll be like, I want to see your resume. I want to know who your mama is. Where you come from, what type of family background. See, people are for the ones who believe in government, y'all go and give your vote to whomever y'all want to have, whether it's the poor side or the rich side. It doesn't really make a difference. But you sit up there and say, okay, well, what for the ones who believe in government, you need to ask a little bit more questions. You need to do a deeper investigation about the person, because I'm pretty sure they're going to have another election. I don't know if it's in 23 or 24. They're going to have another election. And if I was the ones who did believe, which I don't believe in government, I never believed in them. I feel like they need to stay on their side of the fence as far as I'm concerned. I don't wish nobody no ill will. I just feel like, let me do me, and I'm going to let you do you. That's just the way that's going to work. But if you're going to be a part of government, there's a way, and even George Washington has said it. If you want to get from out of the white man's system, you have to sign your way out. Yep. He couldn't have played. He didn't say anything about go to war with them. He didn't say anything about having a gun. He didn't say anything. He said each individual needs to sign themselves out, just like you would when you go to work. When you go to a job, you got to clock in, right? You either clocking in or you signing in. Well, it's no different from government. If you really want to do a separation, you talking about separation, but okay, well, let's get that party started. You want to really separate from them, separate to them on paper and say, look, we didn't have enough of you. We don't care about what you do, and you're gonna make money the same way we have made ours. We work for a living. How many can say all of their lives they worked and they struggled and they sacrificed for their own families? Well, in my mind, I've never seen a white person do that. And the reason why I say that is because every time a white person dies, they give their wealth to their next generation. And see, we as a black people, as a black nation, need to do the same for ours. And that will make us stronger as a unit. I want everybody to be educated. I want everybody to be educated about the white oppressors. But like I said again, it's all because of government. Government is the cause and the reason and the problems that we as a country is having. They feels like they can make a decision and without ever asking the people for how they feel. How do you feel about this? What is your input on this? How can we as a country, as a nation of people, how can we come to some type of an agreement as to what's going to be considered as law and what is not going to be law? Because what y'all have and what y'all are following, it's not law. It ain't never been law. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. And our next presentation will be Sunday, where you guys keep telling me y'all love how I keep y'all abreast about Grandmaster Jay. We definitely still love this man, and I'm going to do a little bit of a spiel for that on Sunday. So, but I'm not going to do it tonight. Is there anybody that would like to come in on the live before I go into my chat room and chop it up with the beautiful ladies that is there? Anybody? I can put the link in again. Wait a minute. Let me. Wait. Okay. I can put the link in again. Copy. And paste. Okay, paste that over there. All right, 1 second, because I want everybody to see the link. If anybody is interested in coming in, just click on the link that's down there. And if you have any open comments, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Yes, I do plan on finding Mr. Russell Ellis. I plan on finding him, and hopefully he would be so gracious enough to come on into the Queen of Radio or the Queen Bee's platform to give us a little bit more knowledge about what he has said in this video that I have played this evening. Okay, so we don't have anybody that wants to come in, so let me get on with the chat room. Did I put anything up there? Okay. Miss Donna, hello Donna. Donna has come in. She says government is the reason for all evil. You are absolutely correct. And there is positive proof of that. I couldn't agree with you more. They are the cause of it. It has nothing to do with what side of the government you're for. It doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat. The only difference between Republican and Democrat, Republic is for the rich and Democrat is for the poor. Okay, poor people of government. Let me say that. Government has never been for human beings or the people. So yes, I totally agree with you, Donna, that government is the reason for all evil. They are not going to stop. We, the people, got to stop them. And yes, that is also correct. And I'm not talking about just the black race. I'm talking about all people. All people. We outnumber the whole system and governmental. We outnumber them. And I'm talking about all races. I'm not just talking about black people. If all races came together to say, look, we're not fooling with your bull crap no more. Okay. We are willing to put real laws on the books where you cannot sit up and stop a person from being black. I mean, it's not like we can take the skin off, put it on a hook or a hanger, and then put it back on again. We were chosen to have this color, and people who are of color need to wear it proudly. That's all I could say for that. That means they're all got to go. You're absolutely right. They all got to go. We need to become a self-governed world, not just for the United States. We need to become a self-governed world across the board. And when anybody we don't have, we don't have a problem with other countries. We love our other countries, and there's rumors, oh, the United States is no good, they don't like us. And then you hear about Africa, oh, African people don't like us, and we have heard all of them lies. See, the thing is, they want to make up and here's where that public stuff comes into play. That media stuff. The media would be so quick. Oh, well, China doesn't like the Americans. Okay, but China, how is it that China don't like us when they are the ones that come and do the nails and the hair shops? I mean, they come over here and profit off of us with the fake nails and the fake hair and all of this other stuff. So okay, so if you don't like us, then stop bringing your businesses over here and take your business and sell to people that you like. That it's just that simple. If you don't like us, then just like you don't like us, you don't need to like our money. You don't need to like our money. If you can't respect us, then you take your business elsewhere. That's just how that works. If you don't want to be in the same spaces of, then pack up, move. We won't miss you. We will not miss you. I won't miss you. I really won't. You do you, I do me. I mean, Black Nation we can give the alien nation a send off. Von Biagi, see you when I don't see you. We as a people can live without them. We can do. We're very intelligent. We know how to build things. We know how to be creative. We know how to fix things. So if we can do all of that, then what's the problem? Why do we need you? Why do we need another race? Why? I mean, because they haven't been all they've done, and it goes back to government. I'm not saying any other race. It goes back to government. Government likes to steal, kill, and destroy, and keep a ball of confusion across the board. It steal, kill, destroy, and cheat. That's all they do. That's what they're designed to do. You don't go into a court of law, their law, because that's what it is. It's their law. You don't go in a court of their law with truth. They ain't interested in hearing truth. They don't care about your truth. They don't really care about, once they have what I call the black and red book. As soon as they see your face, now they got to treat you differently and put you on there. And then they turn around and say, oh, we're just doing it under the confines of the law. Oh, but you got that special book that you're looking in. What's that special book you got on the countertop, Mr. Judge? Oh, you don't ask me any questions. I'm superior. I'm supreme. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I tell you what, Mr. Supreme, how about if you stop taking the taxpayers' money to support your elected job and see how supreme you really are? How about you do that? And that goes for every level of government. How about each and every person in government? How about y'all stop taking the taxpayers' dollars for the position that you are so graciously in? And let's see how supreme you are then. Come on now. Is that supreme going with some ice cream? Or you gonna put some whipped cream and toppings on that special dessert? Because you so supreme. But see, you fail to realize when the black nation of people take back what you have stolen from us, let's see how supreme you are. How supreme are you? Because see, you can't live without us, but we sure in the hell can live without you. Now, that's my spiel for this evening. And I want to thank everybody for sharing, coming in. Hello, Olivia. The change that required by them and will never happen. You're probably right. You're probably absolutely right. They're not going to change, and we're not going to expect them to change. But we're going to have to do one or two things. As a black nation, we're going to have to put somebody in charge of the Black nation in our own office against that rides, and I say ride side by side, not necessarily against government, but we're going to have to put somebody in charge. We need our own, we need, I don't like to say president because I told you what the code of president meant. We need to have a king, okay? We need to have a king over sovereigns and sovereignty. We need to have a queen of sovereignty. We need to have these types of people that's going to be in place to help the government to run their part and keep them in check. Not to, we need to have somebody that is bold enough to keep these people. Now that can be done. We're not asking to change government. We don't care about them because we know that they're like Miss Olivia. She says that they're not going to change. We know they're not going to change. But what's going to have to change? See, we cannot control people. We can't control people, but we can control the narrative. And I'm pretty sure just as many people who has voted these people into their governmental office, we need to have somebody that's going to be a king and queen to help the people that is not necessarily for government, but help them to understand that now you got somebody watching over you. You got somebody that's going to watch. We're not here to be at war with you. We're not here to harm you, but we're here to let you know that our presence is known to where you can finally understand we're not going to play the game with you no more. That as far as you having that olive branch and that brick in one hand and the olive branch in another, that's not going to take place no more. We don't want to hear nothing that you got to say. We are at that point, ladies and gentlemen. Black nation, and for the white people who are listening to the program this evening, we understand. We get it. We get that there are people of your race that would like to be at peace with the Black nation, and that's not a bad thing. But in order I want to add to what Mr. Russell Ellis has said this evening. If you really want to sweep out racism, you're going to have to sweep out government. I'm just being real about it. You're going to have to put these people back in their place as to where they have gotten their money from. They have gotten their money from us. And I don't understand, but I'm not going to ever in my life going to allow a judge to tell me that I have to treat him, superior. I'm not going to ever allow you to do that. I'm not going to ever allow any human being to put themselves before me. Now, if I'm not going to stand behind you, but I'm going to let you stand next to me. And if you feel like you need to be supreme, then I tell you what you do. You go to your bathroom and shut the door, and you got your entire throne where you can be supreme. Because that's where it's going to matter. Because as long as you are in my face, that's not going to happen. Not on my watch. Now, I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for me. And I have zero tolerance of people, any color, race, that feels like that me as a Black woman has to be beneath them. You are not, for all white supremacists or whatever you want to call yourself. You are not. I am not, as a Black woman, nor is my people as a Black nation. We are not beneath you. You got to remember that you made yourself supreme. We didn't. So another thing that needs to be brought back to the spectrum. We need to bring back the People's Court. I'm not talking about that People's Court on the TV where they were joking around with Judge Mathis acting goofy and Joe Brown and that whatever that other lady name was. I can't even remember. I couldn't stand her. But anyway, I'm not talking about the TV judges. I'm talking about the power needs to be put back in the power of the people. We need to bring back the real people's court where they have to stand before us and we make the determination on putting their asses in jail. We need to go back. See, they have buried those rules. Oh no, you're not supposed to know about those special rules. We're not supposed to know that due to the power of the pen, we as a nation of black people have the power of the pen to put these people where they need to be. And y'all know the saying that grandma used to say, the grave that you dig, that you have dug for me, you better be careful because that second grave, you gonna fall in. Now, all of these so-called places that they built for jails and prisons, I see a turnaround, ladies and gentlemen. I see a major, major turnaround because what they and here's another thing about the so-called white oppressors. By them out, what they fail to realize, y'all are constantly making our people rich. You know how y'all are making our people rich? Because if you feel like you're gonna go out and kill black people, we're going to profit from it one way or the other. And here's how. We're going to profit from it because that person, that black person that you killed is going to turn into the death of angel. And it's going to be a part of the black nation's army on the spiritual level. And like I told y'all about that invisible noose, I've seen way too many black people that has died, and whoever was the judge that sat on a bench to determine their life died of just completely died just out of nowhere. And I truly believe it's because of that mysterious noose. You see, all of the people who you fraudulently has done against black people, the people that you claim don't need to be put in jail, when these are the ones who are killing black people, we get the benefit from both sides of that spectrum. You know why? Because the people that you kill is they're not gone yet. Their spirit is still around. And see, the more black people that the white people kill, the more army of the spiritual realm is going to come forth. Our ancestors is going to say, come on, honey. See, just like for y'all know who I'm talking about, just like this individual who has killed 22 countries with the needle. Oh boy, that spiritual realm, oh my goodness, he can forget about it. You can wipe the plane with that, because you know that noose is coming. That noose, that invisible noose is coming. Isn't it true that white people feel like, oh, well, we'll just hang a black person off of a tree? You remember? You see, how you have done us is going to be the same karma. Y'all know what I said about karma in that other video, right? You know, karma is a mother for you, and she is not to be played with. They're going to know what the real karma is. So for all of the lily white people that is killing black people at the hands of who? Government. You never see, here's the deal, y'all. You rarely ever hear about another race hurting black people. You never hear. You have heard 100 and 200% of the time. Every news story that you hear, it says another cop kills another black person. How many times we could probably run out of fingers and toes on how many black people has been killed at the hands of police. And where did police come from? They are the trash collectors of who? Government. Can I make myself clear? Okay, so she say them and they are like their father, as we are like our father. Hallelujah. That's what Miss Olivia says. And you are absolutely right, Miss Olivia. They are like their white father, their white forefathers. And we are of the people of the Most High. That's a complete difference. And she says, you're right. We have no fear. We have no fear. And it's not an attitude. This is the way you have molded, this is the way God has molded us into being creatures of being fearless. And when it's time, and only at the instructions of the Most High, because also in the small print of government, if you guys read the fine print, they said people of government are not supposed to believe in the higher spiritual of another God. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is what they say in their small print. In order, they would prefer you to join their organization just as long as you don't believe in that higher spirit. So this is the reason why I don't want to be a part of your formed man-made government. Because you have already stated to me through the power of your pen that your whole government is based upon your own God, and God is the governor over documents. That is the code. God is governed over document. Remember the code. Now, with that being said, I think I've said enough. I want to thank everyone. And like I said, again, I'm going to give a copy of this video to some people that needs to hear it. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a copy of this video and I'm going to share it with 7. And I'm hoping that you guys can make a list of 7 people to share and like. I care nothing about numbers on the YouTube channel because I'm getting ready to have my own channel. Every day I'm working on with a team of people that believe in my message, and I'm going to get on my own platform. That way I don't have to follow nobody else's rules. Because the way I see it, just like government, your rules don't apply to me. Your rule, and you can't prove otherwise. Your rules has never applied to me, and your rules has never applied to the Black nation. And we as a Black nation of people need to take our stand. We need to start. I want to talk to other leaders. I want to talk because I may have the voice of a leader, but I'm not the only leader. There are other people who can be just as boisterous as me. I don't want, if I have a dinner party, I'm not going to try to hog all of the food. I want people to come and share. And I feel like we as a nation of people need to do that. We as a nation of Black people need to come together, all leaders, whatever name of your group, regardless of the name of the group, of the organization, we need to come to our own table because the time is now. You got a white man that thinks that he created the computer and the chips and all of this, and he didn't just gotten really beyond himself to the point where I still can't get over the fact that he killed 22 countries with this needle. I'm still flabbergasted as to why that hasn't been brought up or discussed a little bit more. And he is planning to take the future of our children. That's his goal, because we as a people, like I said, we as a people need to come together and put a halt and a stop to this. We need to have that discussion at our own table. That's what we need to do. And I'm working diligently behind the scenes of trying to make that happen. We need, as a collective of Black nation, for us to be at our own round table and have an open discussion about how we as a Black people is going to deal with the realms of government. You know, we're not here to be violent. It doesn't call for violence, but you know, we're just going to have to prepare. We don't want to. We're not a war. We don't believe in war. Black people, the Black nation, don't believe in war. We have portrayed over the last 4,000 years to be a nation of peaceful people. And we have to live up to our reputation of being peaceful. We already know that the enemy wants to come with the guns and all of this, that, and the third. But that has to change. They have to change. And with Mr. Russell Ellis, he's going to have to do a lot more, where he needs to start with the foundation of the hatred. He needs to start with government. If he's going to, yes, I totally agree that the white race need to talk to their people. I totally agree with that. I'm 100% behind that. But what they really need to do to stop all this hatred is to stop your government. And I say your government because it's your government for whoever believes in them. I've never believed in them. So, you know, I treat them with a long handled spoon each and every time I have to be in front of them. They are what they are. And I truly agree with the ladies in the chat. So I think I have talked enough this evening. I'm just going to say I thank everybody for coming out this evening and sharing my thoughts and my input in reference to the white supremacist that says, again, his name is Russell Ellis, and I'm going to try to find and see if I can get him on to do a live video. He says the white supremacist, same dog, same trick, same time, and it's time to change. Well, yes, absolutely. It's time for them to change. We are going to remain the beautiful people that we are. And we're gonna continue to be headstrong and head fast. And we're going to continue to show the rest of the world that we can come together as one. We can stand as a nation of people in peace. And whether we stand in peace with people who hold their guns, we can stand in peace with that. And they shouldn't fear anything with that. But, you know, it is what it is. So, any questions, comments, or concerns that I can address, that I can fill in for anyone? I take it that nobody is bold enough to come onto the platform. So, with that being said, I am going to say, please join me again on Sunday video. I found a lost video. I won't say it's lost. I think it was more so overlooked. I found a video of Grandmaster Jay that may have been overlooked, and I'm going to bring that up, and we're going to chop it up about, what I know of in reference to it. Again, please click like and subscribe to both channels. Please make a donation with the cash apps that is listed, the $ Queen B 1000 and $ Queen OR 54 is for the Queen of Radio platform. I'm just going to say I bid you all peace, love, and y'all know what to do. Y'all will be right back here in the saddle for another great episode that I can share with you. And I kept it within a great time. So I'm gonna say I salute all of my Black, beautiful, melanated people, whether you are a king or a queen. Much love to you all, and we'll be back in the saddle on Sunday. Sunday.